I'm Jay Neilson, Forge of Fire Judge, ABS Mastersmith.
I'm making my version of the Beast from the East.
And these are my secrets of the Forge. So as much fun as it is for us to sit up there and watch our smiths fight through a challenge, we love seeing them succeed. But if you're not going to take the time to at least spark check this stuff, you might be causing yourself a lot of problems.
Darlin's over on the grinder. He's got that, what looked like the tow hitch, but it's not sparking at all.
It's a sign that that stuff's probably very tough. Doesn't necessarily mean it's hardenable.
It breaks.
Ah, crap.
Darlin just broke his spring.
I'm crushed. There's no other way to say it.
In this first round of competition, you'll have to harvest steel from this barbecue and forge camp knives.
First thing I do is cut off the piece of the big round spit. I think it has the mass to produce the size of the knife that they're looking for.
What he should have done is just spark test him.
I don't know if that's high carbon or mild.
I do not know what kind of steel the spit is. I just assume that the bigger round bar is a higher carbon steel.
All right, Matt, you're up.
What steel did you use for this knife?
I used the spit.
Do you think that that was high carbon steel?
Initially, I did, yes.
I'm not sure it was, so I'm going to test this with a file. If it's hardened and hardenable steel, that file should skate off as if I was rubbing on glass. If it bites in significantly, then I know that this wasn't, in fact, hardenable steel. This is biting deep, man. There's a notch right there.
I see it. Matt, big problem with your blade here. There is no high carbon steel in that blade, and therefore you don't have an edge that is hardenable, and therefore you don't have a knife. And for that reason, you can't move forward in this competition.
So let's talk about how to spark test things properly. What I'm going to do is I've got a nice new 36 grit belt on this grinder. You can use an angle grinder. Anything that throws sparks will work, but this, since we have it here, might as well use it. I'm going to show you on a mild angle iron, a mid-range carbon steel railroad spike, and a piece of 5160. We'll start with the low carbon content angle iron, and we'll progress from there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The higher the carbon content, the more sparks you'll see. So let's have some fun. You've got sparks coming off of that, but there's not a lot. I wouldn't be too thrilled about it. Let's try the mid-carbon railroad spike. You can see those sparks are shooting out more and faster, and they're actually starting to burst as they get out there. That's a good sign. So now let's try something that we know has a good carbon content, this 5160 leaf spring. See quite the difference there. You had probably twice as much sparks, if not more, than the railroad spike, and they flew out further and they burst more. So this is definitely a good steel to use. So one of the things I do off camera to help the show, and when we're doing these salvage challenges, we need to make sure that the steel is good for the smiths. We're not throwing them a curveball or anything like that. So production will come to me every once in a while and say, hey, can you test this for me and make sure it's good? And a spark test is a great quick way of doing it. But to be absolutely sure that you've got good quality high carbon steel, best thing to do is bring it up to quench temperature, quench it in oil, and immediately after it cools a bit, try to smash it on the anvil. If it shatters like glass, it's good high carbon steel. If it doesn't, don't use it, it's not worth it. And by the way, if it's good high carbon steel, make sure you have two pieces, because you're going to ruin one. All right, first things first, let's get the forge lit up. Something like this farm blade, I have no idea what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this off, quench it, and try to break it on the anvil.
When I work with a mystery metal that I don't know what its heat treatment schedule is like, you have to experiment a little bit.
Looking at the broken end of this, and I'm looking for how big the structure inside is.
Chris did what I've been waiting 4 seasons for somebody to do. He took a recycled material, heated it, quenched it, and snapped it to see the grain structure. That's going to help tell him how we should heat treat the blade. That is a very, very smart move.
I have no idea what those drill bits are made out of, and I want to know if that steel is going to be hardenable. So I cut a chunk off, throw it in the forge, quench it in some water, and then try to break it. If it breaks, it got hard. If it bends, it's not hardenable steel.
I have a little W1 left, and because I don't know its chemistry, I'm going to test it. It's the only way to understand how to do a good heat treat.
I'm going to heat it up, normalize it, break it, look at the grain inside. Do that maybe a couple of times to make sure that the knife turns out the way I want it to.
Chris has a habit of testing everything he gets his hands on.
That's some ugly big grain.
One of the nice things about when you snap these things in half, you can actually see the grain structure and what's going on inside. So let's see what's happening. All right, the grain growth looks pretty uniform. What you really don't want to see is like silver sand. You want something more like a gray velvet. This is closer to the velvet, so I'd say this is a good steel. Well, that was a lot of fun, Smiths. But now, go test some metals. Go try this out. You're gonna have a lot of fun with this. It's like detective work and science lab experiment all at the same time.
In today's competition, we're inspired by Kung Fu movies.
This is a competition we're calling the fastest blade in the West.
But the Halloween, the horror ones are always my favorites.
Welcome to the Forge of Fear.
I'm watching you, James.
Whoa, who's that?
Someone's stalking the room.
I just stay at it, you know, trying to make sure he don't mess with me.
You good?
I got it out of my system. I really love horror movies and horror stuff. I had a friend of mine, actually, who makes these for Robert Englund, made one for me. I was stuck in traffic on my way to set, and I'm just kind of sitting there tapping these on the dashboard. And it's a really easy way to get a lot of odd looks from the people in the car next to you and the people jogging on the sidewalk or walking their dogs. They look at you really odd. I just love horror episodes. Welcome to our strength test, the haunted television shop. Our horror door chop. Becky, I'm home. The dreaded coffin challenge. For me, you know, horror movies are like a roller coaster. You go on a roller coaster to get scared. To get a thrill. I do the same thing with the horror movies, and then they incorporate blades on top of that. How could it get better? That was fun.
Man.